Still here in the EMS World Expo exhibit hall, and a firm favourite of everybody here, and certainly a firm favourite of mine, is Dr. Peter Antevy. How are you, sir?
Rob, doing great. How are you?
So you've been actually in the centre here delivering a lecture which, by the looks of it, had a lot of attendees. What have you been talking about this morning?
So it was a little bit of clickbait, but I had the title of the 5 protocol changes you're too afraid to make.
Obvious question then, and this is an easy question. What are they?
Okay, so the first thing we start off with is RSI versus DSI. A lot of people who do medication assisted intubation use RSI. We stole from Jeff Jarvis at Fort Worth.
Can I just say this sounds like an R&D project?
It is, rip off and duplicate. So we do RSI, we do DSI, which is a delayed sequence, which we give the ketamine, we pause for 3 minutes, we maximize oxygenation and blood pressure, and then we give the rocuronium, and then we intubate. And it turns out that your hypoxia goes way, way down. So RSI should go away. That's number 1.
Okay, that's number 1. Let's have number 2.
Number 2 is refractory status epilepticus. Most people give midazolam ×1 ×2. The patient's still seizing. What do? Drive faster. We would use ketamine. So IV ketamine or IM ketamine for refractory seizures. That's number 2. The third thing is obviously whole blood. So people said it's too expensive, it's too complicated. Too bad. Figure it out, get it done. It's you're basically reversing the murder rate, which they've done here. We have 67 cases, and we have an 86% survival if you got the blood before your cardiac arrest. Pretty good.
Amazing statistics. Number 3
is dual sequential or double sequential defibrillation. This is the Sheldon Chesky's data from Canada. You have refractory VFib. What do? First you do vector change. You can change the pad placement. But then if that doesn't work, then you actually just shock them twice. Shock them 720 if you have a life pack at the same time. And he has shown doubling of the neurointact survival. Our own data since 2017 shows that we have a 42% neurointact survival rate for people who otherwise would have died at the hospital. So that's pretty cool.
Wow. Okay. And next up?
Next up is antibiotics for sepsis. So a lot of people are fearful of giving antibiotics. Why? Because the hospital says we need to have a culture, a blood culture. Turns out that's not true. If the patient's hypotensive, they're fixing to die, as they say. And we in Palm Beach County can give the antibiotics within 12 minutes of the 911 call. And our own data shows that the hospital is giving antibiotics at 120 minutes. That's a 10-fold difference in that. So antibiotics for sepsis are, I think, a major item.
And finally?
Well, there's a few more, but I'll do my last one, which is removing epi from shockable rhythms. That's number 1. So we've done that. We use esmolol for the refractory cases, but why give epi to the fibrillating heart? The other thing we did, call this number 6, is we do not allow cardiac arrest epi for symptomatic bradycardia in children. So bradycardia is not really a rest rhythm, although the AHA calls it that. So we use push pressor epi, a much lower dose of epi for that patient. So I think that EMS is a different specialty. You know that, I know that. The data coming out from the AHA is mainly hospital side, ICU side data. And it's time that we own this space. And that's what I'm pushing for here.